perceptions, awakening to the joy of life.
Hi, welcome to the Awakening podcast. My today's guest is Bharat, and he is a Reiki Master, Holistic Nutritionist, Shamanic practitioner, and Kambo practitioner. And we are here after Kambo Ceremony, which we just had yesterday, led by Bharat. And I'm super excited to have him here as a guest and to share about the procedure, about what is that, and how did you find this medicine and what it does to people and why people do that, because it's not a pleasant experience. And people do that and then coming back and do that again because somehow it changes their lives for better. So I can't wait to share with you how it works and ask all these questions in today's episode. And my first question is a traditional one. If you ever had a moment of the awakening when your life was separated for before and after.
Most definitely. I think there have been a lot of moments, but the most recent, most powerful, I would say, is like a lot of us. I had a relationship that transitioned and it ended, and I was in a lot of pain and grief and resentment, anger. And I'd worked through a lot of it, but then there was, I guess, some of it left, and that was starting to affect my health. So I decided, look, I'm just going to go to Peru. I need to travel. I want to go to Machu Picchu. And so I booked the trip to go to Machu Picchu. But then I also had heard about ayahuasca. I didn't know anything except it can give you visions and there's some purging involved. That's all I knew. And thankfully, I found a great place. I booked it. I went there. And I would say that trip was definitely transformational.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people who had ayahuasca experience mentioned that was the moment.
Yeah.
Definitely for me too. I had a few moments of awakening, and one of them was ayahuasca. Definitely life is separated for before and after, and you get in touch with such a divinity, and all your consciousness and mind opens up, and you look at the things differently. Like all the problems you had before are so like,
Exactly.
insignificant.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did you find Kambo medicine for yourself? And first of all, what is Kambo?
So Kambo is the venom extracted from the giant tree frog in the Amazon. Like a lot of medications, there's, just so you guys know, that venom is not necessarily always bad. Venom is used in a lot of Western medicines. It's a lot used in a lot of cosmetics. So this particular venom is very, very beneficial to us humans when done properly, obviously. And the way I came across Kambo was when I went to Peru to work with the shamans and do ayahuasca. And they were serving Kambo there. And at the time, I just didn't see the need for it. But I had watched Kambo being served and, people going through their process and seeing, their faces turn and almost look like frogs because your face swells up sometimes. And I was like, wow, I was fascinated. And I definitely saw the purpose for this for my business partner who has certain gut challenges and skin challenges. So when I came back to Toronto, I was like, dude, you got to look for someone who serves this. It's phenomenal. I think it has a lot of potential. And he found someone, went through a couple of ceremonies. It helped him a little bit. And then finally, he found another shaman who, or rather a Kambo practitioner, who I went to as well. Her name is Ashley, phenomenal person. And I had, a few months later, developed a mold infection. And I don't know if the audience is familiar with this, but
No,
mold
what is
infection is
that?
very difficult to get rid of. Right? Even just imagine mold in your house.
Yes.
It's not easy to get rid of.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine that's growing in you, and
Yeah.
it's very common. It's more common than people realize. So I decided, you know what? I will go do Kambo. And after 4 treatments of Kambo, the mold cleared.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was very powerful. I did not at that point have any intention to become a practitioner. Fast forward a year later, with the way the world is right now, I felt, look, before I had my Kambo practitioner who was in Toronto at the time, but she, during this time last year, she's pretty much in Mexico now. And so if I wanted to get treated for, the things that are going on right now, I was like, that might be a problem because I don't know anyone else. And I'd rather not outsource that. I'd rather have insurance for myself and my family and my friends that if something went wrong, whether it's the virus or the vaccines or whatever it is, I'd like an insurance that, hey, I have a tool that can potentially help me and my family and my friends. So I got certified in December last year. So actually, I did level 1 in December and level 2 in January. So there's 2 levels to it. Level 1 is you have to learn to administer to yourself. And level 2 is you have to learn to administer to others. And you go through an initiation process and things like that. So I'm certified through Kambo International. Phenomenal. I just want to give a shout out to Ginny and Steve. They're just incredible teachers. And yeah, so I've been serving Kambo since January.
That's amazing. And I actually wanted to ask if Kambo is fully legal in Canada and internationally, because ayahuasca is a still huge gray area and it's mostly illegal. And in some countries like Peru, Spain, it's fully legal. And what about Kambo?
Kambo is fully legal everywhere all around the world. Also, it's important to make sure people understand that Kambo is not a psychedelic, right? So it's a very physical medicine, as you've experienced.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll chat about that. But Kambo is not psychedelic at all. It is a very, very physical medicine that's a very powerful detoxification supporter and some other benefits, which we'll chat later.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it. And also, is it violent for the frog? How do they get poison out this frog? I've heard it's a very colorful frog, very bright green color. And it usually doesn't run away from people because it's just so poisonous that nobody touches this frog. And people just grab it with their hands and take poison and let frog go, and it doesn't damage frog, doesn't do anything. Is it true?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way they extract the venom is these frogs are arboreal, so they're on trees, and they're nocturnal, so they come out at night. So these people who revere these frogs, obviously, just like, they revere nature and, the forces of nature way better than probably we do. But they'll sing to these frogs and the frogs gather and then they'll grab a frog. Yeah, and they tie the frogs. So they'll like tie, almost like spread eagle, right? The hands and the legs, just gently, just enough to create some level of stress for the frog. So the frog then releases some venom. It's a wooden stick that they extract the venom on, and then they let the frogs go. And let's say if they're collecting again, maybe next week or whatever, if they catch a frog that has those white rings around their hands and legs from being tied, they don't stress it. They don't extract the venom from it. They let it go till it's recovered.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're very careful with how it is extracted, how they take care of the frogs, things like that. And again, this is where it's really important that people know where this is coming from. Right? There's, just like anything else, right? Where there's money and human beings involved, I'm sure there are people out there who abuse these frogs.
Yeah.
But I get it through my organization, Kambo International, that works with the tribes down in Brazil to make sure that they're taken care of, the tribes are taken care of, and then this is done sustainably.
Yeah, that's super important. And how many frogs are needed for one Kambo ceremony or for...
So it's a stick, right? And that stick will usually last me for probably 30, 40 treatments.
Just from one frog?
One stick. So one stick has venom from probably multiple frogs.
Yeah.
Right? So it depends on, I guess, how many they can collect and how much. But yeah, I would guess probably 10 to 20 frogs maybe on one stick. And then that one stick would probably last me for 30 treatments, possibly.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. And lots of people are really concerned about taking Kambo because they think it may cause death. And there is some studies. If you just go and search on the internet, they just like, oh, no, never do that. But I know that science is often has some conflict with holistic medicine. For example, I recently had a live stream on Instagram about yoni eggs, and if you go and search yoni eggs, they say, oh no, don't put that inside of your vagina. This is so bad for you. You can get infection and all of this. And it's so bad. But if you actually search it properly, how it can help with your pelvic floor strengthening, and you'll find a bunch of research that it's actually working and it's proven. And this guy, Arnold Kegel, he created Kegel exercises in 1947, and his success rate was 90%. And yoni egg, it's just more ecological version of Kegel eggs because it's just made of pure crystal. It's made of jade or rose gold or of obsidian, and the stone itself has healing properties, and it's super healing. It helps so many women to get back with their divine feminine energy, with their sexuality, and it helps to recover after giving the birth and prepare for the given birth. It helps them to have better orgasm. It helps to get rid of sexual pain and heal so many illnesses. But
the 2 YouTube videos said it's bad.
yes, and doctors say, oh, don't do that because because the traditional medicine unfortunately focuses on removing symptoms only, and holistic medicine goes to the root of this, and that's why I love searches, and I love articles, and I love to see both sides.
Yes.
So when I researched scientific articles, they said that don't do that. It's not safe. But I, at the same time, I look around and I listen to my own intuition, and it tells me that it's really powerful tool to have, and it can help. And I've heard that there is even cases with cancer when people would heal cancer with Kambo. So it looks like it worth the risk. And if there are any risk, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so you made a great point, right? I think you can search anything you want, and there's always information out there on the net that will say yes, it's good, or yes, it's bad, depending on what you're looking for and what you actually type in. So people need to understand, you have to look at something in context, right? So with Kambo, it is very, very, very safe. However, there are contraindications. There are certain conditions or certain medication that someone could be using which makes it not safe for them to receive Kambo. So one, that's important to know, right? Second, if you're getting this treatment from a trained practitioner, that risk is very, very low because we've been trained to make sure we screen the people first. We don't just say, yeah, come, great, you want Kambo, let's go. We actually go through a screening process, make sure they don't have any contraindications, no conditions. Why are they taking the medicine? What's going on? So we screen them really well. So that's not an issue. So as long as you've been screened, there's no contraindications. The only other possible risk is the practitioner's negligence with monitoring how much water this person is drinking during ceremony. So during ceremony, you drink almost 1.5 liters to sometimes 2 liters or more in one go. And that's a lot of water, right?
Yeah.
And that obviously is going to throw off the electrolytes in your system and can risk hyponatremia.
Yeah.
That's the only risk if you are safe to receive Kambo, like there's no contraindications, you're not on certain medications. Then as long as you've had that water and that Kambo is applied within less than 15 minutes of drinking the water, you're safe. There's really no issues with it. But again, this is where making sure you're receiving it from a trained practitioner, that's important. And the practitioner being very, very diligent with the screening process.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. I love your approach. You send us forms to fill out, you screened us, and everything was well organized. And you also have individual approach to each person.
Yeah.
You ask what their intention, and each treatment for each person is different, and different spots, different meridians. And it's very interesting. And you also use meridians, which people use in acupuncture. So there is a certain energetical points in our body, and it somehow works with that. How does it work? Why you use meridians?
So I think meridians, chakras, they're all energy centers. They're all frequencies. They're all information, right? So Kambo is so in tune with your system, and it's so compatible with your system. So when you apply Kambo, the information of Kambo, the healing power of Kambo connects with the intention or connects with the frequency or information of that particular point or meridian or chakra, and it does what it needs to do. And so it definitely has, when I've done Kambo so many times, and people always say that the meridian treatment was a little more, whether it's a little deeper or more intense, or even the chakra points, they are a little different in intensity or even the results compared to the traditional treatment, where for women, we just do it on the inside of the leg, and for men, we do it on the inside of the forearm or the shoulder. That's the traditional treatments. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Yes, and what's the physical benefits of Kamba, and what's also um, energetical benefits? Because um, from my research, I've heard that ayahuasca works more on physical level, and Kamba works more on energetical levels, astral body, right? So we have few bodies within us,
Yeah.
and what kind of benefits on each level?
Yeah. So I think any of these plants or, the venom from this, the frog can have both benefits, could be physical and astral, emotional, because I think we're all one system, right? I don't think it's no different from food, right?
Yeah.
You practice nutrition, so you
Yeah.
know when you're consuming a certain kind of food, it is working on your physical body, on your emotional body, on your energetic body, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with any of these medicines. And Kambo has physical benefits and emotional benefits. And it is a very physical medicine. So you're going through, the nausea, the purging, the swelling, the sweating, the hot and the cold, and all these different things. And but in terms of the benefits, it is a very, very strong detoxifier. It's going to pull stuff out of your system. And who doesn't need detoxification? I think we all do in some capacity, right? So it's a very strong detoxifier. It's a very strong anti-inflammatory. So it pushes inflammation down. It's a very good antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal even. There's specific peptides in Kambo that actually treat things like candida. And candida overgrowth is so common. I would say like 8 out of 10 people have an overgrowth.
Yeah, like for women, they have candida. Over 70% of women have candida yeast infection.
Right. And so it's so powerful on those physical levels. It also has, it's known to normally, long term, help reduce your blood pressure, which again is a common problem in North America.
Yeah.
Right. It also contains neuropeptides. So neuropeptides are peptides or amino acids that work on your nervous system. So it is phenomenal to like calm your nervous system down. A lot of people, their neurotransmitters are just burnt out, right? So by neurotransmitters, I mean these chemicals that sends and receives signals to your brain and from your brain, right? So there's 4 major neurotransmitters like the dopamine, acetylcholine, serotonin, and GABA. And these all have different functions. So Kambo is so good at kind of for the lack of a better term, resetting those neurotransmitters, which is why probably it is great for depression, anxiety, and even alcohol addictions and certain other addictions. It can help transition or support that process of you breaking out of it.
Yeah.
So many physical benefits, skin things, autoimmune conditions, amazing for that. So that's, I would say, just a few of the physical benefits. On the emotional energetic side, traditionally they say Kambo is used to clear panema. Panema is what they call like the heavy energies, right? So if you have heavy energy stuck on you, you're not, you don't have, let's say, proper grounding practices or rituals in place to protect your energy field, we're all picking stuff up, knowingly, unknowingly, and we're leaking energy. So, we all have layers of these energetic blocks, emotional blocks, and Kambo can be a very good revealer or help you release it. So it could be a revealer, releaser. And I've had so many clients who tell me different things. Like even just today, someone messaged, I had an emotional release in the car after Kambo.
Wow.
Even just in ceremony, people just
Yeah.
release tears or
Yeah, one
rage.
girl was crying
Yeah.
so badly in our circle, and I never saw this type of reaction. I
Yeah.
only thought people always purge and just
Yeah.
dying there, but she was not purging much. She was
No.
just crying. Maybe that's all what she was needing. And
Exactly.
crying is a big indication of cleansing, of
Absolutely.
purging something out.
Yeah.
There is definitely some
Yeah.
trauma or blockages.
And your body uses tears to also release excess cortisol. So on a physical level, again, she's releasing stress,
Yeah.
but clearly there's emotions and energies involved there, and that was her purge. Right. So
Yeah.
I find it very, very beneficial for things like that. Like, even I've had people tell me Kambo gave them courage to do the things that they were hesitating to do. So that's a massive emotional shift. I've had people tell me that, it helped them kind of break a certain pattern of behavior, going through that Kambo experience, whether it was 2 treatments or 3 treatments or whatever. It was, wow, this helped me reset and break through that pattern. And I'm so aware now, which is why I said Kambo can be a revealer of the stuff that's going on.
Yes.
So if you're not aware of certain behaviors and patterns and subconscious programs, it's very common for that stuff to come to the surface during or after Kambo.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I actually felt a huge shift yesterday in my state, and I was in such a beautiful meditative state all day. I felt so grounded, so zen.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm most of the time I'm super grounded because I just got lucky with my personality, and I even did a personality test, which I suggest to everyone. It's the best test by Jordan Peterson. Peterson, Understand Myself. So good. And there is one indicator is how neurotic you are, and and the way they evaluate that, if like out of 100% people, on which side you are, and I was in 2% of like the least neurotic people.
Oh, wow.
So like I'm just lucky with my personality.
Sure.
I'm always calm, and I meditate a lot. But yesterday was just different level of this calmness. It was very interesting to observe. And also yesterday, you mentioned that Kambo ceremony may help with fertility because 2 people came there with intention to heal fertility. And you said that there is a whole treatment for that. Like, what do you mean by treatment? Is it one-time treatment, or it's a series of Kambo ceremonies which you have to take? How does it work?
So it's, again, going back to those meridian points, right? So so obviously fertility depends on so many different organs and functions, right? And if we can optimize those functions, then the chance of fertility is better, right? So if your detoxification is better, if your gut bacteria is better, if obviously your reproductive system is better, then
Hormones.
hormones, all of that being, the better we can line things up, the better the chance of being fertile. So pretty much it's I believe it's 2 or 3 treatments. And obviously this comes back to, you could even do more. So it's not like set in stone that, look, it's just this way, right? But there are specific meridian points where we would apply the Kambo, and you'd go through, I believe, 2 or 3 treatments. And again, it's not like, look, I did Kambo and now I have a baby. the whole, I believe in potential.
Yeah.
Right? There's potential in everything. So Kambo has certain potential. Ayahuasca or other psychedelics have potential. Your nutrition has potential.
Absolutely.
Right? And I believe all of these things will go as far as your consciousness will allow you to. So I can do Kambo on someone, but if they're not ready to go there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's one thing.
Exactly. So it's but there are specific points that can help with fertility, can help with hip pain, back pain, all sorts of different ailments. So obviously, so many practitioners, using Kambo over a period of time have figured out, hey, you know what? There seems to be this series of things that we can use that seems to help with fertility, or this series that helps with depression. So it's more just the meridian points, which I wonder if those meridian points were also determined based on acupuncture treatments. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you use these points using acupuncture, maybe it enhances fertility. right? So I think it's probably like a combination there.
That's what I thought, because I know, for example, acupuncture helps with sperm count
Yeah.
and quality, and does Kambo also may help with these things?
100%.
Same,
I
same
believe
way.
that. And now I also come from a holistic nutrition background. So what I do when I serve clients, and this depends on the client's needs and what's going on, I will also support them maybe nutritionally. Or I also am a Reiki Master and a Shamanic practitioner, so I may support them post combo with some of those practices, right? So there could be people who could do, let's say, few treatments of combo, and they're like, wow, I went and did a blood test and my fertility is through the roof. Awesome. And then there are people that may do combo, but they may also need to clean up their nutrition.
Yeah.
They may also need to address nutrient deficiencies. They may also need to work on stress. They'll still
Yes.
need to work on maybe balancing hormones. Because as much as there's potential with combo, it's not magic.
True.
So I also believe in, if there's specific conditions like that, using a bunch of modalities to go that way versus, yep, just do combo.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of clients who have autoimmune issues, fungal infections, you name it, depression. I have a great friend of mine who comes and sees me for multiple sclerosis, and he's seeing shifts from it. So there's a lot of benefits, but a lot of them I also suggest, hey, great, we did combo. It's a nice reset. And till I see you again, I'd like you to do A, B, C, D.
Yes.
And it could be nutritional, it could be energetic, it could be, emotional. So I like using a combination of modalities. But then, yeah, there's some people like yourself who are like, good, you're already doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Great, let's try combo and see
Yeah.
what shift it creates, right? So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And the way I found you is that I tried Kambo before when I did my ayahuasca ceremony, and I know it's a beautiful combination to do that together.
Yeah.
And I did it for the first time, and I was so scared to apply too much on myself.
Yeah.
They only did 3 burns for
Yeah.
me, and they applied first a portion of poison, and that was okay, absolutely. The second one, I felt that my head is spinning and it was unknown and so scary, and I purged a lot, and it was interesting because it was taste of all the pharmaceutical pills I've ever
Wow.
took. It was like
Wow.
this so weird, and the greenish yellow color.
Yeah.
And it felt great actually. But I was scared to take more because also a shaman said that make sure your vision doesn't get blurry. If it gets blurry, tell me, I'll remove it, and it's too much.
Yeah.
So I was afraid to go further. And what was interesting that 3 days before I went for a massage, my face massage and my neck, and they were working on with a special machine working on removing excess liquid from the face and working with the lymph. We have these knots underneath of the ears of the lymphatic system. And when she was working with this machine around my lymphatic system, left side was incredibly painful. I wasn't able to resist. I was like, move it away from me. I can't handle it. On the right side, it was just a little bit uncomfortable, but I was able to deal with that. And I've got this massage treatment. Then I went to do Kambo, and I came back in the next couple of days. I came back because it was series of massages. I was supposed to do 5 procedures with this machine. And she did my left side, and it was almost nothing there. It was comfortable, absolutely comfortable. When she was going there, I was able to handle it. And it was just a little of some sensation, but nothing crazy. And when she went on the right side, I didn't feel anything. It was like completely healed. I was like, whoa, that was just one session of Kambo, and my lymphatic system has a huge difference, like huge shift. And I got back to Canada, and I was like, I need to find somebody who does Kambo here. I want to be cleaner and have a better lymphatic system. And I also know that Kambo helps with immune system, and especially now with COVID, it's like must have.
It's fantastic, man. It's such a good, again, because it's anti-inflammatory, it's antifungal, it's antiviral. It's the potential, again, the word potential comes to me a lot and is through the roof.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy I found you. But once we ended up in a circle, you started to evaluate each of us and prescribe a special treatment for everyone. And you asked for a number. I said 7, and you told me, "No, okay, you're gonna get 7 shots." I'm like, "What? No." And I was like, maybe I should just tell I don't feel comfortable and leave. I was really planning in my head to escape, and I also, it was unfortunately,
The truth comes out on the
Yes.
podcast.
Yeah. It was the first day of my period, and I was like, maybe it's too
Right.
much for my body. Maybe I should tell him I don't feel good. It's first day, and just like
Yeah.
excuse, like in school, we didn't want to go to this
Yeah.
physical exercise class. Girls would say they have painful period and leave, so
Yeah.
I was like planning escaping. But then I was like, okay, I'm just here. I'll just breeze through that and be in a moment, and it should be good. I trust the medicine. And once you started to apply it, I was like, okay, this is too late to to go somewhere. I'll just be in a flow.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how once you once you surrender to this, you really end up in a flow of trust and love and gratitude of that you have this opportunity.
Yeah.
This medicine, this frog from some jungles now applied to your body, and you just embrace that. Like, trust the unknown. And I literally felt like some blockages were removing, you know, like together with fears, like when we embrace what we don't know, it just like we become one with divinity and with oneness. And it was not so scary anymore. Of course, it wasn't comfortable. If I would be in my head, yes, oh my God, I need to go to the toilet. I need to purge. Like, this is all painful and everything pains, and I'm red and I look like a frog. Yes. It's like actually interesting because when you take Kambo, you look like a frog. You get green, and somehow you literally look like a frog.
Well, not green, but you do get swollen.
Yeah, like and some even features of the face.
Yeah.
And but yeah, once you get out of your head and just in the moment, it's
And I think
process.
even just what you described, right? One, I think going through an experience like this automatically lets you go, wow, if I can go through this, I can tackle a lot of shit in my life.
Yes.
You know? And even the way your mind was taking over, and then you took over your mind and said, nope, we're in this and we're
Just
staying in the
trust.
process.
Yeah.
It shows you also how you are in your life. So this is what I also meant is even the ceremony will just show you your behaviors.
Absolutely.
You know, I've had people who freak out before the ceremony. They're like, oh my God, and they'll try to control things. And watching them as a practitioner, I'm like, that's how you are in your life. And sometimes I might make them aware of it, or after the ceremony, obviously. Or sometimes they will tell me, wow, I see how I am in my life.
Yes.
This is what I do. I either hide and
Behaviors,
avoid, or either I want to do this. I don't like pain. I don't like being uncomfortable. All these things come out. So Kambo will show you how you are. What are your behavior patterns? What are some subconscious beliefs you have? You know,
Absolutely.
so it's amazing just going through that. I think to a big degree, Western society is so comfortable.
Yes.
I think we all need to invite a little more discomfort. And things like, things like Kambo, things like, you know, these psychedelic medicines, or even just, again, go change your nutrition. That kind of discomfort is also necessary. We all need that, you know, like I'm a big fan of, you know, what Wim Hof does and practitioners like that do with cold. Like I've been having just cold showers every morning for 3 years now.
Nice.
And for me, besides obviously immune system and blah, 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 for me, it's a building resilience exercise. You know, when first thing in the morning, I'm in that freezing shower. I don't care. Summer, winter, fall, doesn't matter. And I'm standing there for 2 minutes and I'm there when it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
But it's a practice in managing my mind. And then once it's done, I feel like I'm ready to take on the day. I just had my first victory of the day. That's the tone of my day now.
That's amazing. Yeah.
You know, so I think we all need to invite a little bit of discomfort. And it doesn't have to be Kambo. It may be whatever. Like I said, cold shower or fasting. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, all of these tools, I think we need to invite a little bit, you know, and Kambo can be one of those tools.
Yeah. That's how some people even practice stoicism. Sometimes they live in these luxurious, expensive houses, and sometimes just sleep on the floor just to remind themselves about the roots and
That's right.
to be grateful that you have all these comforts in your life.
Yeah.
So this is amazing.
100%. I agree.
Yeah, my husband does cold showers and I admire that a lot, but I'm still not ready. But I do fasting. I try to do every Sunday without food. And it's also amazing. Sometimes I give up, my mind takes over, but sometimes I take over mine. And it's interesting how it's like monkey mind, right? It always tries to negotiate with you and say, what if you just did maybe a little bit, or do you really need it? And you're just like, no,
I'm lightheaded now.
Present. Yeah, it's amazing spiritual practice.
No doubt.
Yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Awesome. So inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing. And how can we find you? How our listeners can maybe find your website or social media? Where can we find some more information and maybe message you?
Sure. So either you can email me at heartofgodbook@gmail.com, or my Instagram is Heart of God Shamanic Healing. So if you type in Heart of God, you'll probably find me. You will find me, actually.
Why Heart of God?
My intention, I guess it's a practice for me, is to be able to be in love with everybody. And that is inspired by my guru Ramdas. And so my book at some point will be called Heart of God, because, if you understand the concept of God or the idea of God, then it's pure love. So
nice.
Yeah.
Who's your teacher? How did you find your teacher?
Interestingly, I don't remember how I came across him, but my earliest memory of him is finding a CD. It's called Experiments in Truth. And I remember listening to that CD over and over and over and over again. So if you ask me another time in my life that was like a before and after, it would be finding that CD.
Wow.
And
Now I'm curious.
he's a very popular spiritual guru. He's not with us anymore, but if you look up Baba Ramdas, you will find him. He was originally, his real name is Stephen Alpert. He used to be a Jewish professor in Stanford, I believe. I could be saying that wrong, but incredible, his books, his work, and part of my work is to keep his work alive and spread his word and live his word more than anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing so much information. And this is so helpful, I think, for lots of people to know that this type of tool is available. And if they need, they can try it anytime. And it's amazing that we have you. And I'm so happy I found
Thank you. I appreciate
here
it.
in Canada somebody who's certified, who knows what he does. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.